My name is McKey Berkman. I'm a bookbinder and book conservator who trained at the North Bennett Street School here in Boston. And I have been a student at Rare Book School since 2014, just shortly after I graduated from bookbinding, and have had 7 amazing summers as a student in Charlottesville at Rare Book School.
I'm Jim Berkman. I'm married to McKey, who's on the board of Rare Book School. And one summer I actually took a course with Terry Bollinger in order to be with McKey at Rare Book School.
Well, the first course I took in 2014 was Jan Storm von Leeuwen's Introduction to the History of Bookbinding. And I decided to start with that course after having been told by my instructor at North Bennett Street School that we students must go to Rare Book School. It's an amazing institution. So I thought this was the logical place to start. I had had 2 years of bench training at North Bennett Street School and absorbed history of the book through the bench training, but in no sort of logical, progressive order, and really felt that that was a gap I wanted to fill. When I looked at the catalog of Rare Book School, I realized I could be in this journey for years and years, learning about the book at Rare Book School. So I started with Jan's course, which was totally amazing. He is an amazing individual. He was the chief librarian at The Hague, at the Royal Library. An amazing teacher. The teaching artifacts that Rare Book School has that he used to show us the history of binding from like the 2nd century through modern times was amazing. There was extraordinary examples of each period that Jan wanted to teach us about. So that was fun. But what was terrifically fun was the students. And this is true for most courses at Rare Book School. You have people from all walks of the book. I think I was the only binder that summer, but you have conservators, you have historians, you have dealers, you have academics, you have PhD students, all thrown together for this week of intense learning, which was really electric. And that class bonded so wonderfully around Jan that we partied together around the Boston Antiquarian Book Fair every fall because a good number of the students would gather in Boston for that book fair. And kept up that relationship to this day. Many of the other courses were absolutely superb, all of them actually. I chose courses going forward in areas where I felt I needed to learn more. So for example, John and Catherine's book on the history of typography. So I'll be a lifelong student at Rare Book School, and now that I'm on the board, I feel like maybe there's a chance for me to give back to the institution that's given me 7 wonderful summers and many more to come.
I took Terry Bollinger's course on the illustration in the book. And again, we were studying examples, but we were also doing hands-on. And so I have examples here of some of the work I did in Terry's course, which I was very proud of. I had done etching and engraving before his course, but I enjoyed doing more. And then this is a piece I did as a woodblock with Terry that I gave a copy to my grandson, Robin, because at the bottom I named it Robin. Terry is amazingly brilliant and was fascinating as a teacher. I enjoyed also just the coffee times out mixing with people from the other courses. And being on campus, and I was there partly because my wife had been going for 7 summers, and this was one of the summers I decided I should join her. She had not been going for the 7 summers up to that point, but right. Overall.
But your interest as a collector of prints, and often books for which those printmakers have illustrations, is what really got you into Terry's specific course.
Right. Mac and I collect prints. We have since we were married 45 years ago. And we especially collect William Strang, who is a 19th and 20th century Scottish printmaker and painter. We have 65 William Strangs and 3 books by William Strang with illustrations in the books that he printed, some that he designed and some that he just printed. We've got illustrations from the Detmold brothers in England in books. We have a Blair's the Grave with William Blake's illustrations and a Blake that didn't go into that book but was done for that book. So my fascination with art on the wall tied into art in the book.
I have such fond memories of being in Jan's class, the Introduction to the History of Bookbinding, and the extraordinary group of students, including Beppy Owen, who's a collector and a very bookish person, who for a few years has been encouraging me to think about board membership. I kept putting her off because I was on the board at North Bennett Street School and said I needed to focus there, but that as soon as my term was over, I would get back to her. She persisted, she got back to me, and the timing was right to join the board. I'm a brand new board member, but what I have already noticed from my very few months on the board is the commitment of these people on the board. Their love of this institution, their desire to do anything to move it forward, and that's really extraordinary. This is not a board that just sort of gathers occasionally and votes on things. It's a board that works hard behind the scenes and does what they can do to support this mission. So I, through the persistence of this Rare Book School classmate friend, and many years of nurturing, I've now ended up on the board and am really delighted to be here.
Who should take a Rare Book School course? Clearly anyone who's a professional that deals with books. Dealers, bookbinders, book conservators, curators, but also amateurs who collect books. But also I'm the least of it, but I read a lot of books and I'm a novelist, so I write books, and even that connection to books is something that the history of the book, the physical formatting of books, illustration of books, anyone who loves books should take a Rare Book course.
Rare Book School is the preeminent player, I feel, in offering history of the book and bibliographical studies to professionals and non-professionals of varying interests. Because of the range of course offerings, because of the fact they have the best in the field teaching each of these courses. And the courses can appeal to someone who's a very seasoned bibliographer or to someone who is a beginning collector, and everybody in between. And that's pretty astounding that the course offerings can be attractive to that whole range of people. Anybody who is bookish in whichever way could find any number of courses to expand their knowledge. So it is, it's housed in this beautiful campus at the University of Virginia with an amazing teaching collection, and I think that is a distinguishing feature of Rare Book School, is the collections that have been built for the teachers of these courses to use. Very, very exciting. So it definitely, in the world of book history and bibliography, Rare Book School is the shining star.